What is going on, people? In today's video, I am going to walk you through exactly what it looks like in order for you to make your first YouTube video. Now, I realize people in the B2B space sometimes get caught up in like what specific pieces of content that they need to make. With my clients, we always start them off with this video because, as this thing says, it makes you a hero in the eyes of the people that you want to sell to. Like, you are the savior, you are like the person that they want to talk to in order to get their problem solved. And I am going to walk you through how making this video in the exact format that I tell you how to make it isn't just going to be a piece of content that looks nice. It's going to be the thing that books you more calls with the prospects that you want to talk to in a way where they feel like they authentically know who you are, not as if they're showing up for a sales call with some slimy guy that wants to sell them. So like I said, by the end, you will know how to turn viewers into clients. You will be more than just a service provider. You will be their potential hero to the exact problem that they are facing. Let's hop right into it. So here's an example of what this looks like in action. This is a 30K a month cold email agency. I don't know why this picture is always blurry, but this is her only video. And it's the only video that she actually needs because it literally is just that effective. This is another one of my clients who has had massive successes, just booked at Harvard Business School, closes deals all the time that are worth several tens of thousands of dollars, and he's killing it. He follows the strategy. This is even more another one of my clients who she has a program for career-based women to get further along in their careers, has worked with thousands of people inside of her business. She follows this formula. And then there's, of course, me, the cherry on top, or where this entire thing became like the ideation, or where I first tried this thing about 5-6 months ago, realized it worked, and then immediately duplicated it inside of my clients' businesses because this thing just works. I'll tell you guys, whenever I first tried this out, what happened was I was sending out, the regular agency stuff, cold email, ads, DM outreach, and everybody kept having the same rebuttal rejection that they didn't know who I was. They were like, dude, like all of this stuff, this offer, whatever, it sounds nice, but who the heck are you, rather than just some random person that I just saw an ad from, or a random person I just got a cold email or cold DM from. And I was like, man, you know what? You're actually right. If somebody sent me a random message that I did not know, even if somebody gave me a referral from somebody that I did not know, if it wasn't clearly communicated who this person is, the chances of me doing business with them drastically decreases. So I thought, okay, most of the people who I reach out to are not going to know who I am. How do I find a way to just tell them? And I came up with the formula for what I did. Since then, I've like redone it, made it better, and everything in this next slide is going to be exactly the how-to on how to actually do this thing, right? So here is the flow, like the exact flow your video should be following whenever you do this. This is super important that you follow the flow step by step. We'll get into why it works, but like I know most of you guys are probably here for this part of the video, so like I'll just give it to you. Set expectations. In the beginning of the video, you will notice I do it in the beginning of this video and in every single one of my videos. You want to tell people exactly what they are going to get by viewing your video. Hey, my name is whatever. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the past 10 years of my career, how I went, some of my clients have done this, from a broke college kid to a $100 million CEO, and all of the trials and tribulations that got me here. That's what you're going to learn in this video. Always, 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 always set the expectation to set someone up for an immediate dopamine hit, to keep them to watching the video longer, to allow them to trust you more, and to give them sort of a roadmap of like, this is what I'm going to get out of this. It's the only thing people care about. The next thing you're going to do is pick your starting point. So like I said, in this example I gave earlier, you were a broke college kid. Whatever your story is, whether it was like you were a CEO that was struggling, whether you were like had a 9-to-5 corporate job that you hated, doesn't really matter. Vividly explain where you were. Like before your life got better, the reason why you started the business. The cool thing about this, is that you can get as personal or as unpersonal as you want. You can tell everything about your story, or you can only keep things specific to your career. You don't have to get crazy into your life if you choose not to. But whatever it is, even if it's just you felt lost, you were bleeding money, didn't know what to do, make it vivid. What were the early challenges in the beginning that kept you very, very humble? Next, talk about the hurdles to your transformation. And point number 3, the point that makes this so worthwhile is, why didn't you immediately change your situation? Point number 3 makes your story uniquely you. Point number 3 is the thing that is like, it was actually my mindset. It was actually a judgment from my family. It was that I truthfully just didn't know how or what I was doing, and I kind of had to go through the trials and tribulation, and the only solution that I actually had was time. Whatever it is, point number 3 is so important, because this is where you differentiate yourself from just about every service provider. To be honest with you, opening up this much in the video is going to make you different. But doing point number 3 is what makes you the top 1%. Because I want you to understand, every other person that your target audience is getting reached out to from an agency perspective, they are not doing this. They are numbers on a board, or numbers on a piece of paper on like a spreadsheet. They're talking to a sales rep, and then to a client success manager, and then to some other tech guy who probably doesn't know much of what he's doing. But what you're doing here is making yourself human, not a logo, not a business that you want to sell. Telling a story to another human being. Next thing, point number 4, your transformation. Describe what was the moment where everything changed. What was the moment where you woke up and it all made sense? What was the phone call you got? What was the email you got? What was the big breakthrough, the big case study, the big win? What was it that moved you from your starting point to the big transformation? And then tell your people where you're at now. After the transformation happened, how many more successes did you get? How many more wins did you get? Just as vividly as you described your starting point, describe where you are now, and paint the picture of, to your clients or to your prospects, I was in the exact same position that you were in. Literally, that's how I came up with selling the thing that I sell now. And now my life is a private island, jet skis, all of the freedom and time in the world. And the only thing I did was, well, the thing that I'm probably about to sell you the solution for. Then leave the viewer with a takeaway. You want to give them something that is like, hey, this is my story, but what I want to actually help you do is figure out what this looks like inside of your life and with your story. If you sell a program, that's what your program does. If you sell a done for you with service, this is what your done for you service does. Whatever it is, leave the viewer with something and allow them to be funneled into your other pieces of content, or directly into your landing page or your sales page in order for them to book a call. Remember, if somebody just watched an entire video about like your life story, they probably want to talk to you. So give them a takeaway and then give them an opportunity to actually talk to you. Now, I kept a lot of these points very, very high level on purpose, because when somebody watches your 0 to hero video, is what we call it, it immediately dispels any doubts of who you are, of you being credible, you being authentic, and you being good at the thing that you say that you're good at. Because what you're doing now is creating documented proof that in some way, shape, or form, you are credible, you're authentic, you're a real human being. You're not a sales robot. You are actually the person doing the thing that you claim to be good at. Nobody else does it. So it makes it even more so important that you nail this. It makes you human inside of the eyes of the people that you're trying to sell to. One of the things I notice often is that, especially in like the B2B space, people circumvent the idea of human emotion. A lot of times in the B2B space, people think that this is one business selling to another business, and all we need to do is put the logistics together, make it make logical sense, and we close deals. Though unfortunately, that's not how these things work. Because yes, you are a business selling to another business, but both businesses are ran by people. People feel emotions, which means emotions are actually the driver of decisions, and then logic is the thing that backs them up. So build a great logistical business, but also give people emotional attachments to bite onto, and that is exactly what we're doing here with these types of videos. You make yourself a hero because no one has been that open about what they deal with. No other person trying to sell to them is able to say, hey man, I went through your exact problem and I figured out how to fix it. Do you want me to show you how to do the same thing? Nobody else is doing that. So the thing that makes this strategy so amazing is all you have to do is that. And you immediately become a hero in the eyes of the people that you're trying to sell to, because what they fundamentally now understand without you ever having to say it is, I have the solution that you've been looking for. Would you like for me to give it to you? You're now the hero in their eyes. You are now somebody that feels like they can trust and somebody that they actually want to do business with, because obviously you know the solution to the problem that they're facing. So how to record this video is something I see people get caught up on so much. So what I'm going to do is break this down into two parts. I'm gonna do a budget friendly, and I'm gonna do like a slightly bigger budget. When I say slightly bigger, I mean like about $100. When I say budget friendly, I mean like anywhere between like $100. So you'll go bigger budget 1,000, smaller budget like $100. So your bigger budget, as far as your camera, honest to God, you can just use your iPhone. Even if you don't have the newest, most updated iPhone, I think I have the iPhone 12, and for like years I was recording on that one. You can just use your camera. Do not waste money on buying expensive webcam. Expensive webcams are almost always a waste of money. And if you don't have an iPhone, just borrow one for someone else. If you have a bigger budget, record on what I'm recording on, what I record all of my videos and my clients' videos with. It's the Sony EV10 with the 1650 lens. If you get this one, you can like do things that I'm doing where you can use it as a webcam. You can flip it around and like actually record yourself. Really, really great camera for, I believe, like $300 or $400 if you get it used. Which people usually take good care of their cameras, so no problem at all getting it used. And then your lighting, your camera is generally the most important thing. Your lighting, though, the only thing that I would recommend is either a 2 or 3 point lighting setup. If you're just now getting started, you can just use the 2 point lighting setup. Super duper simple. One bright light pointed at your cheek, one not so bright light pointed at your other cheek. As a matter of fact, if you look close enough, you can actually see both of the lights in my glasses. I've been trying hard to not make that happen, but it's kind of hard. What ends up happening though is, unless you have it set up how I have, you will have a drastic shadow behind you. The reason why I don't have one is because that wall back there is actually several feet away from me. It just doesn't look like it, so you can't see my shadow. Typically, what the more advanced person would do is a 3 point lighting setup. Now, all that does is it's very similar to the 2 point. You just have a light behind you that gets rid of the shadow. Most of you will not need to do that. Most of you literally can either just use a big window that you have in your house and two lights. What I would say is, if you, to be honest, you can just use light from the sun. If you can like make it work, like if you have a big window in your house, use the big window, face towards the big window, and then put the camera directly in front of you so you're getting all of the sunlight, and it'll be fine. If you have a slightly bigger budget, go to Walmart and get like a couple $5 lamps. The lamps work fine. And then if you have a bigger budget, use these right here. These are key lights. I have one key light, like I was saying. This is the big one. And I have one smaller one again pointed at me. It gives you a very, very professional and like very, very crisp look. And then your audio, honestly, just use any Shure condenser mic. If you use just about any Shure mic, you'll be good to go. Shure mics are like really, really good. If you get the Sony EV10, use the D4 Mini. It's like $50, but it works really, really, really well. If you're on a smaller budget, just use Adobe AI's enhancer tool. It's free. It's a really, really great way to clean up your audio. And you can do a lot of really cool things with it. So one last thing, again, you're going to notice I did not give you much of an outline for this video. I didn't give you a like, say these exact things, put it in this exact framework, but it's for a reason. First off, I never do it because it's kind of silly and I don't think it really matters that much. And if you want to be a hero to the people that you're trying to sell to, you need to sound natural. You need to sound authentic. And you are not giving a formula to rocket science. You're telling a story about yourself. I want you to catch that, right? Like, that means nobody in the world is better at qualified than telling that story than just you. So don't overthink it. Literally just talk. As a matter of fact, it's okay to ramble sometimes. It's okay to imagine that it's just you and one other person in the room, and you are talking to them while you tell your life story. There actually is nothing better else that you can do when it comes to this. Because I need you to remember, people will only buy from other people that they feel like they trust. make yourself feel trustworthy. Make yourself feel genuine, make yourself feel authentic, and do not stress about the details. Use the framework I gave you earlier because it works, because it's bulletproof, and because all of my clients do it. It's your story, which means simply by you telling it, it makes it the most powerful asset that you will ever have. That's why this works so well. That's why I replicate it with all of my clients. Hell, that's why I came up with it. And if you want help coming up with the videos very, very similar to this, that are strategically placed inside of your business to make you more money, click the first link down below in the description. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video and see you in the next one. Peace!